degrees, started to come more evident just about a decade plus ago. Here we are these days. A lot of people are having jobs. They never went through the four walls of a university. They just have certifications, probably took 1 or 2 courses. It's still education, right? But it's not the full. And I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have a very interesting guest. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, a recent graduate of the University of Port Harcourt. And not just any graduate, ladies and gentlemen. She is, by name, Dennis Ebisu Sarah, right?
Yeah.
And is that from Bielsa?
Bielsa.
Where in Bielsa?
Yenegua local government.
Yenegua itself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So, we have a Yenegua person inside the house. I'm from Bielsa as well. But that's not the reason why she's here. You see, she's special because I'm going to let her tell us why. Miss Ebisu, why exactly are you special? As regarding, being a recent graduate.
Yeah, I'm special because I'm a special breed.
A special breed.
Yes.
Okay, so why exactly a special breed right now?
Because the challenges I seem to face in school may not be what other youths out there
are facing. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Now, the reason why she says the challenges, we'll talk about those challenges shortly. But the real reason why she's here and she's standing out apart from others is because Miss Ebisu Sarah graduated top of her class. What was your CGPA again?
4.63.
4.63. If I'm not mistaken, that means you are a first class graduate.
Yeah.
Okay.
First class.
So we have a first class graduate in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, and there are challenges that she obviously faced. We're going to talk about them this morning. I want to share because I also went to school, University of Port Harcourt in particular, and we're going to be talking about if those challenges really make education worth it. All right? So what are those challenges? Now, straight off the bat, right? The first challenge when it comes to going to university that a lot of people consider these days is the cost. All right? The cost of education is amazing. Now, those of you who have friends who are fortunate enough to have parents who could afford sending them abroad, they will tell you, right, that if you want to get into, like, say, medical school, maybe Harvard, or you want to get into Yale or any other medical school abroad, you will be spending upwards of about $40,000. Upwards of $40,000. Now, if you convert that to Naira these days, it's just over 45 million Naira.
Oh.
But that sounds like, oh, okay, all right, it's extreme. But even in the Nigerian space where we have regular school fees, people were struggling. Finances is a huge problem. And so you have people these days not, going down that road. People want to make money. Ebisu, you had the chance to do something else. Why did you decide to stay in school despite the cost?
Well, I would say it was a push of my parents, actually. Yes. So they encouraged me that I should still go on, even if after my secondary school I learned graphics design.
Oh,
and
okay.
yes, so I'm a graphics designer too. So I had the opportunity to say no, that one is enough to bring me money. But they said I shouldn't give up despite the challenges, and so I just had to go through with it. Even at a point, my dad was like, are you sure we can continue with this? The course during Lale period that if you don't pay school fees, you cannot write exams. So many people repeated, and I almost fell victim to that, but the glory of God, somehow He provided and we passed through that stage. So,
we're talking about, listen, we're talking about real life Nigerians here. And I remember that period when a lot of university students were complaining about, portals being closed.
Yes.
Sometimes the portals, they'll leave them open, but if you check, instead of your school fees, for example, to be 10 naira, is now 20 naira.
They've increased
the school fees. And then, you could write your exam, but you will not get to see your result, and all those challenges came through. But that's one, right? So that was the financial challenge that you were able to overcome. So let me ask you, whilst you were in school, were you doing jobs?
Sometimes, yes. Since I had an idea of this graphics design, so I did some jobs. I would design flyer, design complimentary card, and get small 2,000, 5,000, and just help myself. Things were not as hard as this
now, right?
So if you have 5,000 naira, you know that at least
we're talking about 3 years ago.
You can buy food that will last you for like the whole day. Depends on how you make use of it. So it really helped me. And then I had family and also friends.
The family in Port Harcourt.
Family in Port Harcourt.
Okay,
yes.
all right. So you were able to go through, at least scale through that hurdle, talking about the financial constraints.
Yes.
Now, the next challenge, right, that a lot of people face here in Nigeria and outside the country when it comes to education, particularly higher education, is the expectation of a job. In Nigeria in particular, we've had this for the past 3 decades. They are graduates, and people like to say this a lot. They are first class graduates roaming the streets. They don't have jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we know that there are not very many first class graduates who are roaming the street. Most of them are maybe 2 second class or third class. But the point is, there are graduates all across who still haven't got jobs.
Yeah.
Now, did you have that fear during your 4.5 years in school?
Of course I did. I had that fear. Everybody was like, hey, after going through school, you become a graduate and then there is no job. You just be there doing nothing, or maybe you just have to learn another handwork.
Yeah.
They'll be like, this school process is not useful because you may not really make money out of it. You see someone that went to learn accounting and you're going to become a comedian. You went to learn management and you're going to sing. Like, it's just the irony for me. So most people were not really interested in going through that process because they believed, because of the country we're in, they believe it wasn't necessary because you're not going to gain anything from it. So I really had that fear.
You had that fear? I
had.
Okay, all right. So you had that fear, but you continued. You made mention that your parents pushed, your parents encouraged. But beyond your parents, were there no models, outside school that made you feel, this person graduated, I should graduate too? Were there any models that you saw, who you would say motivated you to continue this work in school?
Not really. I didn't really have that educational model as per se. But people around were enough to you don't need to experience something to learn. So I learned from people that went through and gave up, could not continue. Even at the final year, they just left. I had a lot of elder people as friends. Somehow, most of my friends are older than me, so I get to hear their stories, and I'll be like, I cannot go through this thing that this person has gone through. So I just have to keep pushing and make sure I continue and finish up. And that was it.
Okay, so you were convicted, or you were convinced by the stories, by the experiences. You were determined to learn from all of this. Now, year 1, year 2, obviously your grades were very good. At that point, did you go, no, this first class, I'm going to get it? Were you ever gunning for your first class?
I wasn't. From the first day I entered school, I did not even think of it. My plan was just, let me just finish the school and do it and let people see that I can also go through school and come out. I did not put my mind and say, I want to make first class. I didn't. It was after during year 3, it was my lecturers there and Sarah, this is your grades. It's first class, so it's first. I was like, let's see now. Let's see how it goes. My mind wasn't there at all. I was just doing things and just going to school and writing exams and the rest. I didn't put my mind on
what's your
anything.
department? What was your department?
Educational foundations.
Educational foundations.
Yes.
So you look forward to becoming a teacher of some sort?
Kind of. That wasn't what I actually applied for. I applied for foreign languages and literature. But when the list came out, my name came out in merit list. I wasn't interested in school. I was just there.
Wait, I don't get it. You were not interested in school.
I wasn't.
Yet you're here, sat down, telling millions of people that you came out with the first class.
Yes. Not like I wasn't, like, it wasn't my mind. Because I already had a side hustle, the graphic design. So I was just on my own, and my mom was like, go and write jam, do this one. She's a teacher, so she had access to all those things. So I was just there, and my sister called me and like, your name is out of merit list, EDF, French. I was like, that's not what I applied for now. Why would they give me education and French when I applied for foreign language and literature? They had to convince me again that, okay, this one is better. You get experience in education, and you also get to learn a foreign language.
Yeah.
So you can be a teacher if you want to. And that's like double bonus for you. So I said, okay. And when we went, we were just two in the department.
In the whole department?
Yeah. Education and French. Just
maybe that's why you go first class.
we're just two. Just I and a guy, Destiny Agugu. So we're just the two of us. We learn with education and we also learn with foreign language students. Okay. And then some classes we learn alone.
Yeah. So that's what you guys did for what, four years. 4 years plus if you add all the strikes and all that.
Yeah, that's over 7.
All right. So now that story evolving, just you and that individual going through special. So that means you guys are not, most of the times you're not jumping the windows to get into MBA 1. No. You didn't have 300 people struggling with you.
No, we did when we had classes with education.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
That's general courses.
But how many of those courses did you have to take?
From year 1 to year 4, that's about 12 or more.
Okay.
Yes, 3 for each semester.
Okay, so but your core courses, but just that must have been very cool to just where you guys have it. Look, is that your HOD's office? I'm sure. Yeah,
most times we just go to the teacher's office and
just sit down.
We just sit. And if you miss a class, the guy must know that you did not come
exactly,
to class.
Because just 2 of you, right?
And sometimes if I'm not available, there's a way we understand ourselves. So if I'm not available, he doesn't go. If he's not available, I don't go. Okay. Sometimes I be like, no, I can't stay at home. I go, and then I get in notes. I make an excuse for him, and then I learn, and then I go and we exchange knowledge. So that's how it worked out for us.
So but it does sound that maybe because of the numbers, right, that you and your friend and your colleague were able to get the very best from your teachers. At least they could pay you the most attention.
I could say that, because they could talk to us one-on-one. If we had any issue, just go to them. So the attention was just on the both of us.
Fair enough. Yeah. Now, there's another challenge that a lot of people face when they are getting to school or when they're trying to go through school, and it's a universal challenge. That challenge is where the big crux of today's conversation is getting to, and she is going to be telling us more about it when we return. My name is Jude. Hello Potaka returns after this break. of going through education here in Nigeria. Now, please go on Facebook and on X to join the conversation at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. That's where you find us on Facebook and on X. So I have two questions this morning. First, what challenges do you think you have, or what challenges are being faced by people who are trying to get through to higher education? And two, is school really a scam? Right? Well, let's find out from my guest this morning, first class graduate, Sarah Dennis. Good morning to you.
Good morning once again.
All right, thank you very much. So, whilst you were talking, you made mention that look, at times it was discouraging, and people had told you, and you knew that yes, some people were going around. No, it wasn't easy. People are not getting jobs, and you wanted to quit. Now you're a graduate. Is school really a scam?
Depends on how you see school. To me, it is not. Because the experience alone is a whole lot to learn from. Even if you say they're not teaching you anything per se in the classroom that you use and make money, the experience alone, you learn from the experience. So it's not a scam if you know what you are doing.
It's not a scam if you know what you are doing.
Yes.
All right. So we'll open the phone lines shortly after the break, and then we'll get to talk to our listeners. But the next part, the next challenge, almost anybody across board gets to face is they're either going into school, has to do with their health. And I've been sick in school. Some people get malaria, go to the hospital. Some people get accidents, and they get rushed into the hospital. Some people can miss classes. I don't know about you, but I remember having some classmates who would get pregnant. For example, year 2, year 3, wow, she don't get below, her husband don't come, and so they probably miss maybe 2 or 3 months of school because the baby has come, they can't come to class, And those challenges, health challenges, would always affect, the quality of the schooling that they observe and the education that they get. But you are different from the norm.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think that's how God has made me. So he has made me that different. So with my health status, it wasn't really easy. It wasn't easy. Already the challenges we face normally are enough to make me want to quit than to talk more of this health challenge.
But what is that?
Okay, as a sickle cell patient. So there are some times when I'm in class and I'm no longer concentrating. I begin to feel different. Like I know, okay, the crisis is about to start, and I'll just be like, I'll tell my colleague, Destiny, I'm going home. And he'll be like, okay, you cover up for me if we're in a general class. And then sometimes I remember one semester I was in the hospital for like 3 to 4 months.
And you still made it first class?
Yeah, I missed tests. I missed the whole test for that semester.
How did you do that?
That's why I just said it's God. I missed all the tests for that semester, and then I go to UPTH because I'm a student, so I have discounts. Yeah. So they took care of my hospital bills. And I got a doctor's report, and I went to the lecturers and I'm like, CEO, I'm a sickle cell patient, so I wasn't available. I missed all these things. And some lecturers were like, they don't care. Pop and plain.
Really?
I don't care whether you're a sickle cell or not. You've missed the test. There's nothing we can do about it. It was just one woman that was like, okay, I should come to our office and rewrite. The others, I missed it. That was 30 marks gone.
And what year was that?
That was my year 3. After the COVID-19
period.
The people were even scared. They thought I had COVID-19. Doctors refused to attend to me at that period. According to what my parents said, I was in a coma for like days because they were like scared.
You were in a coma?
Yes, I was in a coma for almost 3 days. Because they were like scared. This is COVID-19. They don't want anything. This one, that one. It's just God. And if my life was in the hands of those doctors, by now I probably would have been dead, because no one agreed to attend to me. You see, at this point where I just look at my parents and they cannot do anything, I'm just there. My dad would be like, at this point now, we cannot do anything. It's just you and God. You have to talk to God. He's the only one that can save you from this. Because they have prayed, they've administered the drugs, they've given everything they can do, and the pains are still there. So they cannot do anything in it. So I just have to like, God, this is you, this is you. And somehow he's always showing up whenever I need it. He's always showing up, and he always uses people around. Even if I need blood or maybe oxygen or something, somehow he just provides and we get through that phase of life. So it's just been God all the way. And then when I come back to school, there's this thing that I don't want people to know I was sick. So I'll quickly make my hair, look for new clothes so I will look good, and I'll just come back. And then when I go to meet the lecturers, I'm like, this is what has happened. They'll be like, and you're looking all fresh like this, and you're telling me you were sick. So they're like, I went to formulate the doctor's report. Why? Why would I do that? Who would ever wish to have sickle cell? Like, why would I do that? My colleague would want to fight for me because the guy is Arab. He wants to fight for me. He starts talking, and I say, don't worry, just leave it. And somehow God has just seen us through. I just make use of the exams to cover up. And
okay, all right. So we'll get to talk more and get to highlight some of the challenges and some of the experiences you have had, talking about someone who lives with sickle cell anemia, and getting to the point of achieving what is only can be described as a milestone, the first class graduate from the University of Port Harcourt Department of Education. When we come back, we get to hear more from her, and then we get to have you join in the conversation. What are the challenges that you think young people will be experiencing if they're going to go through to higher education here in Nigeria? And is school really a scam? Find out when we return. that education is becoming too expensive is a major concern across board, as more and more, particularly low-income households, are struggling to get their children beyond high school education. Good morning. Welcome back. It's Hello Port Harcourt. My name is Jude Omamigbe, and I have with me this morning Miss Dennis Sarah. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning.
All right, so now we're talking about challenges. So we're going to open the phone lines very shortly to hear our guest. Now, we've gone through some of the challenges that you experience, and you at least the conversation does seem to go that line that most anybody would experience. So from finances, from conviction, then there was also the little bit about health concerns. Sure. Yes, and in your case, it was more pronounced because of the condition that you regularly have to manage. Talking about sickle cell anemia. So honestly, in your time, would you say, and I know that you are not the only one in that school, because when I was in school, I knew friends who were dealing with the pains of having crises because of their sickle cell status.
Okay.
Would you say, from what you have experienced, that your school was supportive throughout your period?
Okay, kudos to Dr. Eddie. Like, I will never forget that doctor. He was working in Lulu Briggs. So I was just going about things nonchalantly until I met him. One day I was having my crisis.
What's his name?
Dr. Eddie Chuku Roderick.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
So when I went to Lulu Briggs for normal checkup and to get some routine drugs and the rest, and then when he looked at my file, he was like, you're special. I was like, what's special about being a seeker? And then he was the one that talked to me and explained more things. He took me under his care, like I was like his daughter in school. Anything health, he said, just run to me, anything health. So he's the one that took me into this group they call Special Breeds. It's a group of sickle cell patients. So we share our stories, trying to encourage others. So we learn from every other person, because not everybody's crisis is the same. Yes, not everybody's crisis is the same. I may be having pains in my legs, and sometimes it's swollen, sometimes it's not. Some other person, the legs are always swollen. But if you look at my legs, they're just there.
Yeah, you're kind of tiny.
Yeah, I'm kind of tiny. I'm tiny, not kind of. So most people that know about my health challenge know that it's because of the sickness I'm struggling with. So I'm trying to grow. It's suppressing. Today I'm fat. Tomorrow I'm thin. Today, like, once my face comes out, the next minute I'm sick and everything is down. So that Dr. Eddie has always been there for me. So he's the one that made me to feel more comfortable around school areas. Sometimes I'm having a crisis. I don't let my parents know because I don't want them to get worried. So I just go to him and he takes care of everything.
That's an amazing man.
Yeah, he's very amazing.
This is the first time I'm actually hearing that there's actually a support group for sickle cell individuals in Port Harcourt. This is the very first time, and I think he actually deserves an applause for those who initiated this. This is actually amazing. So, with the aid of the support system, you met these challenges, writing your exams. But what about your social life? Now, I do know that you made mention that, okay, you are a graphics designer. You were, you were obviously engaged throughout your stay in school, trying to get jobs and make money. But were you able to hang out, have fun? No. You really didn't do that. You didn't have a party. Do you see bonfires in school?
No.
No more bonfires. Wow.
I didn't attend any bonfire except in church camp.
Oh, okay.
I didn't attend bonfires.
So church camps, you at least go for church functions, and that's where your social gathering came through. Okay.
Well, as for school, I didn't do most things. It was just that my classmates that really understood what was happening. I don't go for parties. I don't stay out late. I don't stay in cold places.
Oh, sorry, this place is cold.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry.
I always walk around with sweater if I'm going out in case it rains.
Is this place really cold right now?
No, it's not.
It's okay.
It's moderate.
It's moderate.
Yes. It's
okay.
Moderate.
All right.
Because
just be sure.
any little thing, I start having bone pains, and it can be really, really painful. There's no way to explain it. And once it starts, somehow I just get annoyed. I get angry at everything because to me nobody seems to understand what is happening. And even when I'm like, I'm okay, I'm strong, deep within I know that I'm not okay. Only few people that really understand that I'm not okay will not come to me later. I'm like, I see the way you're doing. You're not okay. Tell me what's happening. And then I open up. If not, you barely know. Like, it's not written on our faces. Some of my friends will be like when I posted this, they were like, so you're a sickle cell. I never knew. You don't know because there's a way I try to cover it up, and God has always been helping me overcome all these crises.
But do you think by covering up, you are probably restricting, the help and support, not just physically or financially, but sometimes emotionally that you'd have gained,
from people,
from those around you.
Okay, somehow there was a point in my life I feel that whenever people found out about my health status, they begin to pity me for no reason, and I don't really like that pity.
Yeah, nobody wants to be pitied.
They begin to pity me and sorry, sorry, have you done this one? Like all those things, all those extra attention somehow makes me feel uncomfortable. So I only tell people that I feel should know about it, like my family and some good friends. Apart from that, the public, I don't really like.
You try to keep it down. Okay, so we know that you don't do very well with cold, so we have to be very careful with the air condition here. But it has to be on because of the equipment.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be on for the equipment. So let's get to open the phone lines now, and let's get to talk to you. You've listened to my guest this morning, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the challenges of school. As she says, school is not a scam. What about you? What were the challenges you faced trying to get to or get through higher education? What are they today? More than ever before. Here's my shopping list. I'm going to the markets. I was looking for it just now. I found it. But anyway, let's get to hear from you guys. All right, let's get to talk to AB this morning, and hopefully shed some light. Chance you're listening to us and you are a sickle cell warrior, or you're living with this. Well, welcome back. 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007. I have an amazing individual, very special person here who has surmounted great odds coming up top of our class, first class graduate, the established perception that you cannot make it if you have these challenges. Not only she through financial struggles, don't know did she go through emotional distraught, but also physical limitations. Yet she's a first class graduate. 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. All right, and then WhatsApp and Telegram once again, 0809-030-641. All right, when you call, do well, turn down the volume of your radio set so we can have a civil. We'd like you to remember that you are speaking not just to us in the studio, but to millions at Nigeria Info on Facebook and on X, and you can follow with the website www.nigeriainfo.fm, and you can listen to all our content everywhere you go. Obed is on the line, and Obed is speaking to us from Akbajo. Obed, good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, Obed.
I want to greet the guest in the studio here.
Welcome.
Morning.
Okay. Please, education is not a scam. It is not a scam. Although I'm not a graduate anyway, but what I have seen, education is not a scam. But many today are discouraged because of what is happening in the education sector. Like, I have a junior brother now who is a student of university for that one, a class also.
Okay.
I think this guy is doing well in business and other things. He was telling me recently that if you have no way, you know, you wouldn't have spent 36 years. So I will not use because of that or some job earlier and say it is a scam. There is no scam. It's the only thing that the country is not encouraging, my brother. That is true.
Yeah.
The leaders are not encouraging anybody to do more education these days. Although I wish to go to school, but what I'm seeing now, my brother, honestly speaking, is not encouraging. And even business, some business even pay better. So some businessmen are even doing better than those who have gone to that university. That's why I don't even blame those who think, who believe I will not go again, I will not go to university. I don't blame them. But when it comes to scam, there is a scam, can never be a scam. That is the thing about it.
Obed, thank you very much. School is not a scam and can never be a scam. All right, now, in Nigeria, this is an interesting one. It says in Nigeria, school is a big scam, but in the aspect of personal development and improvement, school or education is not a scam. So I encourage the younger ones to embrace education, not because of the job Nigerian government has to offer them, but because of their self-development. Talking about the challenges, it is a whole lot, and some lectures don't even help matters. They are just there to extort money from the students, making things so hard with a whole lot of things like taking money from students before passing them. Like school isn't for the poor man's children again, because of the high cost of everything. You seem to share some some agreement with that last message.
Yeah.
Any story pops in mind? I know in the past few years, particularly since we had that sex for Max scandal that rocked the country. That's about five years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And more schools, more universities are taking proactive steps. They're becoming more vocal. They're challenging to reduce it. But do you still think it's a factor that some students feel that lecturers are exploitative?
Yeah, there are till now, but I don't think it's as worse as it was then. It has reduced, just like you said, but there are still lecturers there who still want money. Whether you pass or not, they will tell you plainly, if you pass or not, you're still paying.
Pay for what? Pay for what? For handouts?
To get the results. To get the score out. Or you're going to fail. If you read and you pass, good for you. If you read and you don't pass, still good for you, but you're still going to pay.
You had friends who had that experience?
I also had that experience. I think that was by year one. We were new, so they wanted to really take advantage of.
When you say day, because I've heard in some cases that
most lecturers,
the lecturers may not even know. It might be the course reps, the students who actually try to manufacture these
all those lies. Collect money. This one it was a lecturer, because I went to his office to rewrite a test rather. So he was like, "Where's your money?" I think that was 8,000 naira. 8,000 naira also. I told my elder sister passed through Uniport, so she knew. When I was telling my parents about it, she was like, "Yes, so that's how they're doing. That they should give me the money. If not, I'm going to fail." Wow. So I was like, "Thank God,
But I do know that there were some people who either reported lecturers who did that. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, just before I left school, there was actually a probe. There was a Senate probe on a lecturer back then. I think the person got punished or even demoted. I can't remember. So don't you feel safe in reporting any longer? I'm curious.
Oh, to me, I don't, because not everybody has the strength to carry all that plenty.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If nobody does, it will continue.
It will continue. Yeah, that's just it. Someone has to stand up and keep supporting them.
Okay, all right. Let's continue. All right, we're going to wrap up. We have just about a minute and a half before we say goodbye to our first class graduate in the building. 08179230002, 08179230003. All right, 08179230002, 08179230003. All right, then you want to get to speak to us? Well, we will be on WhatsApp 0809-030-6416, Well, school is not a scam, Jude. The question is, what type of schools are we creating today in Nigeria? A lot of the children don't go to school to learn. Everybody just wants to get a certificate. What do they do with it? That's the big question. When you went to school, did you really just want to go to school for the certificate, or like you eventually said, you were convicted? What made you convinced that this is going to be your thing?
Well, it wasn't just for the certificates. No, I did not say, okay, like some people would say, let me just go through school so I'll be a graduate and get certificate and get to answer a graduate. I really wanted to learn. Like I said, I wanted to learn, and I needed that experience too. It helps in life.
Emeka is on the line from Jobo. Emeka, good morning to you. You're my final caller. Go on, please.
Good morning. I just want to Sarah is my classmate actually.
Oh.
So I'm just happy to have listened to her story. It's actually inspiring, and also to tell the world that school is never. I'm inspired this morning, honestly.
Well, Emeka, we are pleased that you listened and you have contributed by telling us how this has impacted you. Thank you very much. It's very humbling to have heard from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you were inspiring. Who would have thought that? Well, thank you very much for coming through this morning. We wish you the very best. PhD in view. Are you thinking of doing PhD? Okay, so she's going for more degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Dennis, Sarah, thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
All right. My name is Jude. Thank you. Have yourself a wonderful day. Good morning.